Welcome. Thanks for watching the J. Rossi Project TV show. We are here with an amazing musician. His name is Gary Lee. Give it up for him.
Yeah! Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
How you doing today, Gary?
Glad to be alive. Another day of life. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. You know what? Most people do not ask me that.
Really?
Thank you. Shows me you care.
I care.
Very good. You sound great, by the way. I heard some of your stuff. You're fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
I picked up this book. What is the significance of this book? Can you tell me about it?
Did you get this at Barnes & Nobles or Borders, or where would you get it?
No, not Barnes &
No, this book is not for sale, folks. This is basically, for lack of a better term, my personal Bible, musical Bible, because this book here is dated from 1980, but it contains all my songs, for starters, to this point, listed from A to Z. And there's A, B, but look at the one that gets the most. What do you think letter is got the most song titles?
I don't know.
You got it. I. There it is. I has the most titles. There's like 3 pages, continuing on such and such page. Now, I don't know why in I have no idea. There's so many songs that begin with I, but I didn't really write that many songs about me personally.
Insight, right?
Insight.
Insight.
Right. Very good.
Yeah.
That's
very insightful songs.
Right.
Very good. Well, how many songs do you think you wrote altogether?
Including everything, which is ditties, over 1,000 songs. Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing. I started in '69 when I first. I wrote 100 songs after the Beatles broke up. I figured, what am I going to do from this point? I mean, I love their music. I said, well, I'll have to write my own stuff. So my parents got me a little reel-to-reel tape recorder, and I started writing songs. I didn't know how to play an instrument. They got me a little plastic guitar, which I didn't play as a guitar, an M&E plastic guitar. I was using it as a drum. So I wrote 100 songs without even knowing a single note of music. And from there, I just kept writing.
Wow. So you said when the Beatles broke up. So I mean, why? Why then?
Well, I don't know. Paul never told me. But no, it's.
Did you you didn't have anything else to do? I mean, you didn't do anything else besides.
Oh, I was a very. I was constantly drawing comics when I was a little kid. My own characters, comic books. So yeah, and then I went into doing music.
Now you're a musician. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so and how many albums would you say you have?
Well,
Go ahead.
How many albums?
Yes.
Well, albums that have never been released. I do have 3 we'll be talking about later, I guess. The Quicklies albums. That's my number one. That's my number one interest is the Quicklies because we do original material. But as far as all my albums are listed in here. I mean, I have various albums that I put together, song concepts and things.
Yeah. Okay. Real quickly.
Quickly. It's got to quickly. That's really
no pun intended.
No pun intended. Such punishment. No.
What was your biggest influence?
Well, I say the Beatles, and definitely, but the British invasion, which covered roughly like the height of it was like 2 or 3 years, early to mid '60s. The stuff coming out was great, like Friday on My Mind by the Easy Beats, Little Children, and all this different stuff. It was great stuff. So the Beatles is top of the pop there, but top of the heap. But I would say that's the one that really got me. Okay,
the Beatles were the top of the heap. They definitely were the kings of the British invasion.
Oh yeah,
yeah, definitely.
Obviously, they were for me, and for many, of course.
Cool.
The thing with the Beatles, they were consistent. They just didn't come out with one song. Like nowadays, groups come out with a song and they sound like the Beatles.
Yeah.
But then you hear another song and it's like they're taking a whole 180-degree turn. It's like it's almost like they did as a novelty or to catch people's attention. But the Beatles were consistent. That was the amazing thing about them.
Speaking of sounding like the Beatles.
The Beatles. You mean,
yes.
Well, he's got lots of one. He got John. He's only here from John. And it's supposed to be Paul. He got that too. You do that as well. Or George Harrison. Ringo? Well, Ringo's a little different.
You all sound alike. Which one were you doing? Paul or George Harrison or Ringo?
Well, George Harrison's that way. And Paul McCartney, well, he's more that sort of thing, that sort of person. And John is more of an attitude, though, I did John before I did anybody else. I do the shows and they say, well, here's a John Lennon look-alike, sound-alike, whatever. I had the hair and the hat and everything, and they go up and do songs.
Do you do that in your live shows?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do?
In fact, I have conversations between the 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I say, well, it's your turn, John. If you got to do a song, well, Paul, I will, but then I want to do that one. You know, so I have these little conversations. It's really funny.
Kind of schizophrenic-ish.
Yeah, I have to explain that to people. I said, now listen, you know, this is just a show.
Okay.
But,
well, I think we're going to take a break now, but when we come back, would you play a little bit on the guitar for us?
I'd be honored to.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We'll be right back to the JRP. Stick around.